Hey there. Welcome to Discover the Divine You. My name is Kimberly Nicole. Right now I'm on a journey to figure out who the real Kimberly Nicole is, who I was divinely created to be. So I created this podcast in hopes others could benefit from what I'm learning and the different ways I'm connecting with a higher power. I created this space for honest conversations about healing, creativity, spiritual growth, and learning to reconnect with myself while living presently in my life. I'm a mom of 3. I have a job. I'm in 12-step recovery. Real life happens every day. So this is a space of no pressure, no expectations, no perfection, just progress. A journey towards finding peace, clarity, and connection to something bigger than ourselves, going from chaos to calm. So here we go. I'm so glad you're here to take this journey with me. Let's get creative. Pobodies Nerfect, Episode 3. Okay, welcome back to episode 3. Or welcome back. This is episode 3. I don't know how to do this, so I'm just doing it. All right, here we go. The whole preface of this podcast is to help us discover the divine versions of ourselves. And every time I try to record a video, there's a siren in the background, or a dog barking, or a kid yelling, or a basketball bouncing. And my perfectionistic brain just really has an issue with that. And, I can only listen back to these episodes, or I will pick them apart so badly that I never end up posting them. So if you find imperfections in my videos, great. That was on purpose. It was not an accident. I did not mess up. This is part of my healing process, my learning and growing process, that life does not have to be perfect for you to live it. Wow. That feels like really profound to me. Might not seem like that big of a revelation to anyone else, but to me, that felt like real truth to my soul. I feel so held back by the perfectionistic nature of my being that it is so uncomfortable for me to not be constantly doing things and perfecting things and just existing. And it's okay. It's okay for me to be uncomfortable. And this whole journey is about getting comfortable being uncomfortable. For a long time, I would just wear black. I just wanted to be hidden and just like a wallflower, I guess. Blend in with the background. Blend in with the night. Or the darkness, I guess. Not necessarily night, but I just wanted to blend in with the darkness. Because that's all I really felt. Because that's all I was focusing on. And today, as you can see, I don't mind wearing bright colors. I don't mind being seen or heard. And it took me a while. I'm still learning how to go from one side of the spectrum to the other and kind of find a nice middle ground, because I don't want to be overbearing or preachy or pushy in any way. I just want to be myself and let others be themselves and, hopefully work together to create some cool stuff. And you know what, you guys? I love Jesus, but I swear a little. And I'm going to try really hard not to swear in my podcast to set a good example for my children. But you know what? I'm thinking somewhere down the road of doing an uncut, uncensored version of myself when I'm fully ready to be the real Kimberly Nicole. Maybe we call it something super cliche like the real Kimberly Nicole uncensored. And, I'm kind of stoked about that idea, but that's for a later day. Today, we're just going to talk about how perfectionism has ruined my life. Not necessarily ruined, but just stunted my growth for real. For real. I stayed stuck for so long and felt tied down. And guess what? I could have untied that rope at any time. It's a self-inflicted imprisonment Like, for me, perfectionism is a prison. You know, I thought I could only hang stuff on my wall once. I could only paint something perfectly, or no one else could see it. Or I could only film, hundreds of hours of podcast and only show 10 of it because I can only show the perfect parts. That's not real life. It's just not. Real life is messy. It smells sometimes. And I have 2 boys and a husband and a dog, so that happens frequently. It's hard. There's blood, sweat, and tears. I've seen way more tears than I have in a very long time in the last 5 years. Like, I have released so much crap that I had been holding on to for so long. And I am a firm believer that if you are laughing or crying, you are healing and you are growing and you are learning. And I love that. So if you see any imperfections in my videos, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear about it. If you don't like the way my hair is, or if I have a zit or funny hair, or my eyes look weird, or my glasses are messy, or the background doesn't look good enough for you, if the aesthetic is not as, pleasing to the eye as you would like, just go listen to someone else. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that today. Not everybody has to like me. I actually have a shirt that says, I'm not for everyone. And at first I did that like ironically, because secretly I really wanted to be for everyone. I wanted everybody to like me. I was like a super people pleaser. And I still have some of that I'm working through. But today I wear it proudly. Like, I don't have to be for everyone. And that is a miracle. That is, for me, the miracle of working the 12-step program, of being rigorously honest. See if I could speak properly. That would help. Now I've lost my train of thought because my ADHD is like squirrel. So let's see, where do we want to go from here? So if you don't like what I say or how I say it or the way I look or sound, it's cool if you don't listen to my podcast and you don't watch my YouTube channel and you don't subscribe to whatever it is I'm trying to share. I don't need to know about it. Go tell your friend. Go tell your sponsor. Go tell your mom. It's none of my business. Your opinion of me is none of my business. And that was a really hard truth for me to learn. I remember talking to someone one time when I first came into the 12-step program, and someone said, wow, you really think highly of yourself, don't you? And I instantly was like, F you, B. What are you talking about? I loathe myself. I haven't loved myself since I was born. How could you possibly think that I think highly of myself? And she went on to explain and said, do you really think that the person you said this thing to is just sitting around all day thinking of you and worrying about what you said and how you said it and when you said it and where you said it and if you'll ever say it again? And I stopped and thought about that. I was like, ooh, I'm pretty self-centered, thinking that these people are just super worried about me all the time. And I just gently, lovingly said to her, ooh, that was a really good lesson, but maybe say it nicer next time. Because I was ready to hang up the phone and never go back to a 12-step meeting ever again. But that would have been to my detriment, right? Not hers. She wouldn't have cared. She'd have gone on being the same. But we talked it through. I said, ouch, that hurt my feelings, but then also understood the truth behind why it hurt. And I think that was the hardest thing for me to get around when I got into the program is I'm not perfect. It's not everyone else's fault. What? It's not? The other people in my life aren't to blame for all of my problems? I'm out of here. Because I really did want it to be everyone else's fault. And someone else said, the good news is it's all your fault. And the bad news is it's all your fault. Bad news because that stings. Good news is if it's your fault, you can change. You can change it. You can heal it. You can let it go. You can give it over to a power greater than yourself and not carry it around anymore. It doesn't have to be yours forever. What a novel concept. I didn't have to be perfect. I just had to be honest and own my crap. When I messed up, I owned that. I took it to the person I trusted and said, help me work through this. And then I gave it over to my higher power, and then I made amends, however that looks. Sometimes it means just not doing that thing again. Sometimes that means saying out loud, I'm sorry, I did this thing, it was crappy, and this is what I'm going to do to ensure it does not happen in the future. I don't really use the word try. I had another sponsor tell me trying is lying. And I thought, that's a rude thing to say. Notice how all the things that I really need to hear, I think are initially rude and like mean. Really, it's just because it's true, right? So let me explain that a little bit more. If trying is lying, it's because when I say I'm going to try, I don't really mean that I'm going to put forth my best effort. I mean, I'm going to like kind of try a little bit, put forth a little bit of effort, but I don't really care what the outcome is. I don't really want to change yet. I'm not ready for that. So when I say I will do my best, that's when I really mean it, right? If I say, oh yeah, I'll try to make it, that means I really don't want to go, but I don't want to tell you. It's like Phoebe from Friends, oh yeah, I would, but I just don't want to, right? She's so honest. You can't help but love her because she says it in such a cute, adorable way, right? So that's my goal in life, is to be open and to be honest and be able to hear hard things, because I'd much rather someone come to me and say, yo, what you said really hurt. And that's how I know that person is my real friend, and that person is meant to teach me something and is in my life for a reason. Because I believe every person, place, and thing comes into our life for a reason and a season. And if I choose not to learn from them, they gonna keep coming back. In my experience anyway. My problems will continue to repeat. The cycle will keep going if I don't change the direction. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. I want you to think about that for a second, because when I first heard it, it was like, what? That's nonsense. If nothing changes, then nothing changes, right? If I don't do anything differently, then the outcome isn't going to change. It's not going to be anything different. So this perfectionism, it wasn't getting me anywhere except for feeling like a failure and feeling like I wasn't enough and like I was never going to accomplish anything. It was burying me under these crazy unrealistic expectations that I had created for myself based on a narrative I had created from other people's opinions of themselves or of me. Watching my family as I grew up, all of my family, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, siblings, it doesn't matter. Like every person, place, and thing in my life, I made assumptions based on how I should live my life based on assumptions that I made about other people's lives or about, when they were not so nice and said things to my face. I was bullied a lot when I was young too, because I was really overweight. I think I was 200 pounds in the 7th grade, and I was 5'7". I was tall and wide, and I didn't know how to shave my legs yet, I don't think either. So yeah, it was an unfortunate time. Middle school is the worst. I would never go back there unless I could go back knowing what I know now. Then maybe I could handle it. But going back again and reliving it, no spank you, Helpy Helperton. I am not down for that. So today my goal is to help my children and other people in my life just realize that they don't have to be perfect and they don't have to take what I say as Bible at all. Like, take what you want and leave the rest from what I say. Like, do not think that you have to live the exact same way I'm living in order to have a happy, joyous, and free life. You can 100% live the way you want that makes you the happiest and not be afraid of who you become. Like, you don't have to be just like anyone else. You were uniquely created by a power greater than yourself and everyone else around you. Like, the creator of the universe also created you. I think that's pretty cool. And for me, the closest I feel to my creator is when I am creating. And I think that's pretty rad, which makes a lot of sense to my brain as to why I feel closest to my higher power when I am being a mom. Because I created those little people. You know, I helped in that. And that's pretty rad. And they're still alive to this day, which is fabulous. Nobody's died because of me that I know of anyways. And I'm just so very grateful for the desire to not have to be perfect today. That my husband has called me 17 times while I've been recording this video, and I've ignored it and been able to keep my mind set on what I was talking about. That there is progress, my friends. I'm real proud of myself. So with that, I'm going to call him back so that he knows I'm not dead and that all is well. And I just want to leave you with this message that you are awesome exactly how you are right now. And you have the power to make real change in your life. And it doesn't have to be ginormous. It can be really tiny. Go a different route to work. Do your hair on the other side. Like, brush your teeth different. I don't know. You decide. You're the mom. Or you're the dad. Whatever. You are the grown-up. You get to pick what happens and where you go and what you do. There is no one telling you what to do anymore except for you. So get rid of those negative Nancy's in your brain. Replace it with a positive higher power or a positive person that you know. Heck, you could use my voice if you want. But just be nice to yourself. You know? Because you deserve it. Until we create something beautiful again, I will see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for being here today. You're my favorite. I'm so glad you came. I know life is busy, so I really do appreciate the time you're taking to do some self-care and hang out with me for a little bit. If something that we talked about today resonated with you and you want to dig a little deeper, I put together a 5-minute creative reset guide called Chaos to Calm that you can access in the show's description. And I would be so grateful if you'd subscribe and share this podcast with someone out there that you think could benefit from what we're creating here together. Also, remember, I am just sharing my experience, strength, and hope as I understand it here. So if bigger emotions come up, please take care of yourself and reach out to a licensed professional or someone that you trust for support. You are not alone in this. So until we create together again, please be kind to yourself and do something creative because you deserve it.